Alright, what's up guys? This is NinjaDeathStrike bringing you a Pokemon TCGO doubleheader with a new deck. Actually, I mean, it's not that new of a deck, it's been around for a while, but one that I've certainly never used, and kind of a deck that flies under the radar, at least part of it. So before we get started, big shout out to 32914 for trading me the Ursaring Primes I needed to make this deck. She gave me 2 for free. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for those. And so here we go. Let's get into the match. You can see right off the bat, obviously I am playing Ursaring Prime, and I've got a couple of Mewtwo's, but I actually don't want the Mewtwo's, at least not yet. This deck is Donphan Ursaring deck that I've been trying to get to work. I got a couple okay-ish videos with it. The main problem is experience share being glitched. This deck really needs experience share to help power up Ursaring fast enough, and without access to that card I just couldn't really get Ursaring to work consistently enough. So sadly these two videos are basically going to be the Donphan show because Donphan's so good, but I figured I'd put them up anyhow because who knows when, if ever, experience share is going to work, and I wanted to get a video up for today. So we've got these. I'm going to lead with Teddiursa. I actually have the Fake Tears one, just trying it out when I had this. Since then, I've switched over to the Takedown one just because it does put damage on you, and that helps with Ursaring's attacks, obviously, because it powers them up. So I go for the Fake Tears here and miss. If Fake Tears was not on a flip, this card would be a lot better, but since it is, it's not that good. But if you flip heads, you can Trainer Lock your opponent for a turn and you reduce damage by 20, so it's a pretty disruptive card early game. Unfortunately, with that Oak, you can see I got a terrible hand. I got one Phanpy and then a handful of energy, so that's cool. I just catch her up as Tynamo here to try and stall because if Cleffa comes up, I am probably going to lose. You've probably noticed by now my opponent is playing Eel Zone, a deck that has kind of fallen out of favor recently just because it's so slow, but it still has a chance to compete if it gets set up quickly. Luckily for me, I do run Donphan Prime, obviously, in this deck, and so Donphan takes 4 energy from a Magnezone Prime to knock out, so I feel like I have a pretty solid matchup here. If I can get anything going. You see right here, my opponent setting up much more quickly than I can, mostly because she has draw support and I don't. So then, to pour salt on the wound, I flip Dual Tails on Dual Ball, which seems to happen to me quite a bit, at least with my first Dual Ball. Like, after the first one, I kind of stabilize, and it normally ends up evening out, but seems like my first Dual Ball I play during the match is almost always Dual Tails. So that's cool. I can't do anything but attach to Phanpy and Fake Tears again. I didn't see if I got a heads or tails. I think I flipped heads that time, so that's nice. Means she can't play PCOM or anything like that to help get Magnezone. And there we go. Luckily, my supporter drought only lasts a few turns. Top deck the Oak here and get a much needed hand refresher. So, unfortunately, I get a whole lot of nothing useful here. So, don't have a whole lot I can do, but I'm going to take a big risk here. I'm going to burn some resources, but I know that once that Magnezone comes into play, her deck just gets exponentially stronger. So, what I'm going to do is play Plus Power, play Catcher, and then I'm actually going to Junk Arm, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I gotta check the attack here. So right now, if I flip a heads, I'll be able to take out this Magneton, but I don't want to take that risk. If I'm gonna go for it, I'm going all the way. So I actually Junk Arm, get my Plus Power back, and take down this Magneton with double Plus Power Phanpy. So I felt like I didn't have another choice. She was setting up way too fast for my comfort, and I really wanted to try and prevent that. So take out Magneton there. Feel like I bought myself a little bit of time, but things are about to go from bad to worse. Apparently she got the perfect hand off of that Eek, so that's cool. We got double Eels and a Zekrom. She had the energy, so now I think there are 2 energies in her discard, so awesome. Now Zekrom's out, and we have to deal with it. It is definitely going to KO my Brave little Fampy, and I am in some trouble. Luckily, I have the Juniper, and there we go. See, I hit dual heads on that dual ball. And, oh, hey, look, 2 of my Fampies are prized, too, so that's cool. I go ahead and just play down everything here, because I'm going to get ready to Juniper, and I figure I may need it. And I actually hit a DCE and a switch, and I really need to go to Mewtwo here. I feel like I'm backed into a corner. I know that it's really early to start with that, but I don't have a whole lot of choice. It's just that or give up more prizes to the Zekrom. So I'm going to go aggressive with Mewtwo. Since I have the other Mewtwo and the DCE in my hand, I feel okay about being able to respond. I'd be able to do that, and then if she has to attach a third energy to her Mewtwo to take the KO, I will be able to respond with a knockout. I probably should have played that second Mewtwo down, though, looking at it now, because I don't have a switch in my hand. So if this Mewtwo had gotten taken out that turn, I wouldn't have been able to respond with my own, and that would have been really bad. So here I get my Donphan, and I'm going to be able to use the other Heavy Ball to get my Ursaring. So I have my attackers out. I just don't have a whole lot of energy to use them with. I think here I'm actually going to... Oh, it's just going to end. I guess I'm looking for fighting energy. I wanted to keep the DCEs in there for Mewtwo. And he comes right back to me. Seems like I just cannot get that guy out of my hand. But I do get the fighting energy I wanted, so that's cool. And now... Yep, I'm going to retreat. I don't want to leave that Mewtwo out there when I don't have to. I figure Earthquake is the way to go. It's going to take out Cleffa. It's also going to put 10 damage on both of my bears. So if I need to bring them in, they will be doing their maximum damage now. For those of you who don't know, Ursaring Prime has a Pokebody that if he has any damage counters on him, all of his attacks do 60 more damage. So he goes from hitting for 30 and 60 to 90 and 120. Which is really cool. The only downside is that he takes a lot of energy to do that. 3 energy for his first attack and 4 for the second. So that's why I really wanted experience share in this deck, and why I was really disappointed that it's not working. But it should be okay. Since I'm playing an electric deck, Donphan is just going to be really strong on his own. And I have Mewtwo for backup too. So hopefully next turn I'll be able to use that Oak to get into some decent cards. Energy is really what I need at this point. I'm going to start powering up those bears. And I've disrupted her setup pretty well. Taking out that Magneton, I think, was a really strong move. She does have both of her eels down, so that's really good for her, but I have cut off her draw support, so looks like she's kind of just given up on Magnezone at this point. She's going straight for Zekroms. Just going to try to stream those. And that's fine with me. Zekrom cannot one-shot Donphan, and after a Bolt Strike, I can just take it out with an Earthquake, so not too worried about Zekrom, honestly. The main thing I got to worry about is having that liability of a Mewtwo on my bench, and yep, here we go. It's going to get dragged up, and then all she needs is an electric energy from her hand, and she'll be able to power up one of these Zekroms again and hit me for 120, which is going to hurt quite a bit. So that is what she's going to do now. There's 1, 2. I think she's got the third one, or it's coming. No, she already has it. So promote Zekrom, just Bolt Strikes for 120. I'm okay with that move. Not a bad idea at all. Unfortunately for her, I top decked the DCE, so I figure, what the heck? I'm just going to attach to Mewtwo. I can take a prize with him this turn, so I may as well at least even the prize exchange. I took down 1 Zekrom early. This one will make 2, and yeah, so basically even prize exchange. It didn't turn into that big of a liability since I was able to take down 2 things with it. And I'm in pretty good shape here. I'm up 3 prizes, so even though she is going to take a prize here, I will still be up a prize, and I have Donphan and a catcher in my hand, so that means something is going to die next turn no matter what happens. She gets a Twins here, which would be a lot more scary if she had a Magnemite on the bench. I'd have to be concerned about Rare Candy Magnezone, but She doesn't, so I'm not too worried about whatever she wants to get. She actually decides to go for Zekrom EX, which I guess is okay. How much damage does Mewtwo? I think Mewtwo has 130, so Tyrogue is not quite going to be able to take me out. Yep, 160. So I don't like that move at all. She needed to kill Mewtwo this turn, and then stacking all of that energy onto Zekrom and then just leaving it on the bench was begging for me to take it down. So, yep, she just concedes here. I'm pretty sure I could have taken that thing out with that DCE. So, pretty big misplay there at the end, but I feel like I probably had that match in hand anyhow. So, on to match number 2. Same deck. Once again, we're going to be facing an electric deck because that is the deck this is designed to beat. So, this one is more of a straight Eels build. There's no Magnezone in it, so it's going to be a little bit faster than the last deck I faced to set up. And I'm forced to start Mewtwo here, which is not cool. Always kind of a pain when you have to lead a Mewtwo. So I do only run 8 basics in this deck, 2 of them being Mewtwo, so I guess there's a fairly high probability of being forced to start one, but still, it's a little discouraging. So I'm going to catch her up that Zekrom right away just because I do not want a turn 1 charge if I can help it. And then seeing that I'm facing an electric deck, obviously I'm going to grab my Fampi first. Wow. And looks like I've got a Teddiursa and a Fampi prize this game, so that's cool. And then I take a look through my deck there to see what else I had prized. Kind of hard to tell since I've sped it up a little bit, but possibly a Donphan, I'm not sure. Took this match a while ago, so I'm just going to switch to get Mewtwo out of the active spot, and to get that switch in my discard, I would prefer to keep damage off of Mewtwo for as long as possible, just to make it as hard as I can to have a prize taken on him. So here we get an Oak right off the bat. Must mean that my opponent did not have a whole lot going on with his opening hand. But now he gets 2 Dynamos. He's playing the 40 HP Dynamo. 2 Dynamos on turn 1 is really strong. And he gets an Eviolite on Zekrom, which is also really good for him. It's going to make it pretty hard for me to Oko Zekrom with my Fampi. I'm going to need a double plus power, I think. That put me at 80, 160. Yeah, double plus power to do it. But I do get Donphan turn 2 here. That's awesome. Also, drawn into that Oak was really great since he played his hand down to 3. Giving him a fresh hand with N would not have been preferable. I would have done it if I had to, but I prefer to just let myself get a new hand. So I'm going to grab Fampi here, and then I don't put it down because I don't want to take damage on it this turn. So I just go for the Earthquake. Not a whole lot else I could have done with that hand, honestly. And I know that there's no way for Zekrom to Oko me, even if he gets the DCE attached this turn, to be able to outrage. He's only going to do 60 damage, which is fine. It's going to mean he actually needs another Zekrom in order to respond. Tornadus is not going to be enough after Resistance and what's it called? Exoskeleton. A Bolt Strike is only going to do 40. So I get End here, lose my really nice hand, and get a pretty garbage one. At least I've got an N, so that'll be nice for next turn. I can play that Dual Ball, try to get something going here. So he still hasn't gotten an energy, which must be really painful for him. He Junk Arms here for another level ball, so he is going to get 2 Eels on turn 2, which is really great. The only problem is he doesn't have any energy in his discard, and he doesn't have any in his hand, so he's really stuck for energy. Even if he had gotten a Lightning energy, it wouldn't have done a whole lot since he still would have been trapped with Zekrom. DCE would, like I said, would have let him outrage, but I still would have been a 3-hit KO. So, yeah, not that great for him. Since he doesn't have any energy on the board, I decide just to catch her around the Zekrom and go ahead and take out an Eel while I have the opportunity. If I can slow his energy acceleration, that's going to be even better for me. And I also get that Teddy Ursa with the dual balls so that I can have Ursa Ring ready to go next turn. So here he's got a Juniper. That means he's going to get another hand of 7. And there's the DCE on Zekrom, and we get another eel to replace the first one. So now I am going to be forced to attack this Zekrom this turn because I don't want it to kill my Donphan. So he's going to Dynamotor. I think that's what I just saw. Onto Tornadus, maybe? Maybe I was seeing things. I could have sworn I saw a Dynamotor. But yeah. And then he just outrages me for 60, 70, 80? Oh, okay. I guess he hit me for 80. Oh, right. He's got 100, so he would be doing 120. Okay, I miscalculated. Yeah, so that means that Bolt Strike will, in fact, be enough to take me out. So in retrospect, I probably should have just taken out this Zekrom rather than capturing the eel. He didn't have any energy in the discard at the time, so there was really no need to take the eel out. And I could have saved myself quite a bit of damage on this Donphan. But too late now. I at least take the Zekrom out now, and I'm in a 2-prize lead, which is really good for me. So here comes Mewtwo. He's going to attach to it, and then Dynamotor to it. And that's going to put him at 80 minus 20 will be 60, which will be enough to take me out. He only needs to do 40 damage. But then he decides, nope, never mind. Don't want to do that at all. And he dual balls instead. And I think he gets more Mewtwo's here. At least one more. Not entirely sure. Let's see. Oh, no. He gets another Thundurus and another Eel. So this is obviously a speed variant of the Eel Zone deck. We've got 3 Thundurus. Probably could very well be the only Zekrom he has in the deck, the one I took out earlier, and then just Mewtwo's, obviously. So I guess what happened was he realized he could take me out with Thundurus if he's got enough energy. Now, see, I missed that Dynamotor. So if he Dynamotored last turn, that's what he's going to do. Okay, so he's going to retreat again, get his other eel here, and then Dynamotor onto the Tornadus, onto the Thundurus again. Right? I wish I would have looked at his discard. Okay, wow, so he just has to pass. I guess he doesn't have any energy in the discard pile, which was really his problem this whole match. He just couldn't get any energy. He got everything else set up. So I'm junk arming here. I assume I'm getting a catcher. Yep. Obviously, taking a prize on the Dynamo seems kind of pointless. I assume I'm going to take out an eel. Yeah, there's no point to take out the Thundurus because the energy is just going to go right back onto his other one if I had left both of the eels there. So I figure I may as well just take out another eel instead. It doesn't really matter. Taking a prize is taking a prize, but I felt like eel was the best target here, so... am I going to drop? Yeah, I put down that Phanpy and Earthquake. So this damaged Donphan is doing some work, just refusing to go down, mostly because he can't be attacked, but taking out eels left and right and putting my opponent in quite a bit of a predicament. So this turn, it's finally likely that he's going to be able to respond. If he just has 1 energy... Well, no, wait, he still doesn't have any lightning in the discard, I think. So he needs to get that in there. If he can get a lightning in the discard and then attach one from his hand, he will finally be able to respond. But at this point, there's just a lot going wrong for him. Yeah, so he just concedes. I had finally had Ursa Ring powered up and ready to go, and then I had another Donphan ready to go and Mewtwo, so pretty much a lost cause. So there you go. That's the deck. You can see that Donphan is really the star of the show in these videos, but if they ever fix experience share, I may revisit this deck or make another Ursa Ring centered deck just because I really like Ursa Ring. I think he's a really cool Pokemon and I wanted to use him. But anyhow, comment, rate, sub, all that good stuff, and stay tuned. I will have more coming your way shortly. Thanks, guys.